else remembers the 2003 Bionicle sets? It gave us legacy sets and characters like the mighty Takanuva and the evil, sinister Makuta Pterodax. And there were many more great sets as well. So today, let's take a look at the 2003 Titan sets, every single one of them. And we're going to see how members of the LEGO community have revamped and reimagined them. There is some incredibly extraordinary stuff coming your way, so get ready. Let's begin with the big bad evil of Bionicle, it's Makuta Pterodax. This wonderful revamp was crafted by Sam K. Bricks. Dude, this design is so clean. Look at the shaping on the torso and the shoulders. The wonderful transition between each element, it's so satisfying. I mean, look at that, branching that Jaller torso element into these Vakama mask pieces. Wow. And what a great way to kind of block out that dark red. Just localizing it in that sort of U shape, just across the shoulders and the torso. And then the only other place we see it is down here on the hands. I believe, if I'm counting it right, that's only 7 dark red pieces in total. Isn't it amazing? You don't need many pieces to make a statement like this. The smallest bit of dark red can say so much. And this is also great because it matches the texture of the original set. Yeah, I've always loved that about Makuta Pterodax. He has that smooth, flowing armor. It all looks so shiny, so sleek. He's got style. But I think the visual look of it goes beyond just being pretty. It fits in with Makuta's ability to shapeshift. I mean, you can just see it, right? The smooth armor turning into some kind of liquid metal and shifting into other shapes and forms. Both the set and this revamp, they share that same texture. It's just been done in slightly different ways with a few different pieces. And a few of the same pieces as well. I'm glad that they kept this. I think it's such a signature part of what makes Makuta Pterodax look so scary. And now the eyes. That solid chunk of blue. I think that's been accomplished by placing a minifigure cape behind the eyes, but I'm not actually 100% sure. Whatever it is, it's nice to see the entire eye being covered with blue. The original set didn't actually do that. It was only a small section. This looks good, and so do these wings. I mean, could this revamp get any better? And you can't have Makuta without Takanuva. This revamp was made by Jaller. Turning him into an angel, that works. It's very impressive how Jaller has captured the shape of the torso element that we see on the original set. He's replicated it with a bunch of other pieces. And yes, these pieces appeared in the wonderful set, the Infinity Gauntlet. A set that I will never ever stop talking about. It's so good. You buy this set and you're one step closer to making something as sick as this. That set is the perfect parts pack. You'll also notice this kind of halo on the back of his head. This is using a printed piece that appears in an old LEGO Ninjago set. I believe this was a remake of another set. There's 2 sets that come with this kind of shield element, I think. It's been a while since I've looked at Ninjago stuff. But how great is this? I appreciate that the mask is hiding the red section of this piece, and instead you just get to focus on that stunning white and gold pattern on the edges. It's so heavenly. Hey, maybe it's worth taking a look at some of your printed pieces. See what you've got, place it behind the heads of your Bionicles, and maybe you could create something quite extraordinary. It's also cool to see these silky soft wings and these angelic robes. The smooth white look is being contrasted with some heavily mechanical and greebled sections of his body. Always fun to see the interplay between 2 very different visual styles. And yet, they work so well together, don't they? Amazing. Up next is Bionic Forge and their take on Takua and Puku. A lot more of a realistic approach to Puku the crab. And this one is a fair bit smaller too. But honestly, I actually think that just ups the cute factor. I don't think there's anything all that wrong about making a set smaller, but really honing in on the detail. The more surface area you have on a mock, the more you have to fill it with pieces, and that's going to get expensive quite quickly. Smaller stuff makes it cheaper and easier for you to pack in the detail and the realism. And yeah, I gotta talk about it, man. The shaping on this is mind-blowing. The curvature of the shell The fact that there's no gaps between these pieces. Wow. And look at his adorable little face. These little eye stalks. They're made using some black sausage pieces, and the very tips, well, these are toe ball pieces. They're the same ones that you attach onto the side of a Borok's face, and then you wrap the rubber bands around them. It's quite a simple but novel design. Flipping Puku over, you can also see the inclusion of 2 tan minifigure hands, and this forms that little mouth. Dude, minifigure hands are the best. It's such a small piece, but it's a great way to include just the tiniest little bit of detail. It's one of very few LEGO pieces to be so small, but to also still have some pretty easy to use connection points. I can't think of a single mock I've seen that's used minifigure hands, and it hasn't looked amazing. And we cannot forget to take a look at Takua as well. It's good to see a healthy mix of system and Bionicle pieces all rolled into one. I've actually seen a few Matoran designs this year that do that. They add in a lot of system. It's a great way to really pump in the detail and to also make it very posable. If you're building a Matoran, you gotta look at some system pieces. This is amazing work. And you can't have Takua without his best friend. Here's Jaller and Guku. This is Mocklock's take on this wonderful set. I guess this is kind of like a modern reimagining. The original set, it comes with a lot of older pieces. Yeah, a ton of Technic elements, and many of your classic G1 pieces. Pieces that might not be all that easy to get a hold of today, especially because they're over 20 years old. Yikes. So look, yeah, this revamp does have a few of those classic pieces mixed in, but the vast majority of it is using CCBS elements. Whether that's just a few various armor shells, or even these yellow sword pieces. These appeared in the 2013 set Dragon Bolt. They were used for his wings. I like that a lot. It's a longer beak for Guku, but now he's got some hummingbird vibes. It's kind of perfect. And yeah, going back to what I was saying before about a modern reimagining of this set, that's always a fun challenge. You take an old LEGO set and you build it again using modern pieces. It's also a great way to get a LEGO set without having to actually buy it. You just build your own, using pieces that you already have in your collection. More modern pieces. That could be a fun building challenge. You can see here that when Jaller is riding the Guku bird, he's holding some black straps. The original set didn't include anything like that. Jaller was just kind of freeballing it. He was holding onto the Guku bird by, I don't know, clenching his butt cheeks. Brave of him to stay on holding nothing. So little touches like straps or perhaps a saddle. Adding in those sorts of things really brings a nice sense of realism to the toy. It's the kind of stuff that, just should be there, but for some reason, it wasn't. So you gotta add that in yourself. Using ball joints for the eyes is also a great idea. And another great idea is this stand. The original set didn't really have one. And thankfully with the inclusion of this, you can actually display Jaller and the Guku bird in a flying position. You couldn't really do that with the original set. You just had to rest it on the floor, which was fine, but this looks so much better. Also, look at that exquisite rock work. Lovely work. And finally, we've spoken about Takanuva, we've spoken about Makuta, but don't forget there was a combiner model that literally fused them together. It created Takanuva, a horrifying union of both characters. This is what the set looked like, of course, and this is an epic revamp of that set. It was made by GGA Queer 97. There is something so stylish about that gold mask and the gold claws. I like that the color swap can represent the elements of Takanuva that have been merged with Makuta. That's, the concept of this model. But the original combiner for this set, it kind of just looks like a giant Makuta. Yes, Takanuva's pieces are included here, but if you look at it at a first glance, you might not even notice that. It's not as obvious as it was in, say, the Bionicle movie. When Takanuva was represented, he literally had a 50-50 split mask, half of it's Takanuva, half of it's Makuta. The set didn't have that. But yeah, simply changing Makuta's mask to be the same color as Takanuva, that's a pretty simple way of making that a little bit clearer. It's a nice way to represent it, especially because it means you don't have to go out and buy some kind of custom mask that looks a little something like this. In general too, I think the revamp really tidies up the design. Yeah, like the torso right here. This area feels like it could have been armored up a little bit more, and the revamp fixes it so nicely. Adding in those Technic panels does a great job of just filling this area in, making it look better. And the legs, they've been reimagined. They've got that kind of digitigrade leg design now. Yeah, it kind of reminds me of certain depictions of the devil. You see him with like goat legs, and I guess that makes sense for Makuta. Or, well, I guess this is Takanuva, but still, it's fitting. I like how this looks. And some wings as well. Of course, man, you gotta include that. It is a similar design to the one that we see on the set Nivork and Doom. Heck, if the wings worked here, they're gonna work on this mock. I actually love seeing people do that, taking really good designs from sets and just using them in your own mock. You can tweak it a little bit if you want, but as you can see here, they look so good on this creation. This is a brilliant revamp. Well done to every builder in this episode. I think you nailed it. These are some incredible mocks. And if you want to see more from these builders, be sure to take a look at the links below. Thanks for watching, guys. Happy building, and bye for now.